Hey everybody, what's up? I'm at my brother's place again, hanging out. I really don't have a designated topic today. I wanted to see if y'all had anything that you wanted to talk about. Whoever's there, hello, welcome. And I'm probably not going to be too long today either. It's Friday, you all. Go enjoy your weekend. Hey Tiffany, what's up? How did work end up last night? What? I can only imagine. They were keeping you busy for sure. Who else is there? Hey, Nicole. Yay. We missed you last night, but it's okay. We're going to fill you in. Tiffany stood in place of you last night. Yeah, you were handling it, Tiffany. It was good. I'm glad you got to see a little bit of our meetings though, since you've missed the first few. All right, y'all, throw a topic out there. Is there anything y'all want to know about? Y'all want to discuss? Anything that's on your minds lately? Ooh, I have one. If y'all don't come up with one, I have one. All right. What is what? All right, I want to throw a topic out there real quick. I'm just going to be brief because I know some people have been experiencing this. Oh, it was a wild card today, Nicole. I was asking you all for what y'all wanted to talk about. But I have one because I know some people are going through this right now, so it's kind of appropriate. Um, y'all, have y'all ever heard the term dark night of the soul? Ooh, that's an interesting one, Tiffany. There are different thoughts about that. Some people say there's a saying about like when God when you show God your plans, he laughs or something like that. It's funny because that's one school of thought. Hey, Courtney, and the other school of thought is like I don't know. I think it's important to plan and do a to-do list, but be open to be spontaneous. Like when you are going with the flow of the universe, it is like just be open like to whatever may happen because it is real spontaneous like that. But that doesn't mean you don't plan. Like you have to cover all your bases. So that's an interesting dynamic. Tiffany, we'll talk about that one later. I'm gonna chew on that one, and maybe we'll talk about that tomorrow. I want to talk about Dark Night of the Soul real quick because it seems like a lot of us are kind of going through this right now. So, y'all, there are periods on your spiritual journey where you are tested, and it seems like things really are the cards are stacked against you. Right, Courtney? Nicole, I've been experiencing it. If y'all follow, you know, the old YouTuber that we all followed, she's mentioned going through it. But like, there are times when spirit does seem to test you, and it is like all a part of the alchemy, the alchemical process. Like, you do have to be broken down to bring out your the essentials. All the other stuff that you live with. There's a lot of bullshit that we live with, that we deal with, um, that needs to be stripped away for your pure essence. Like when you think about alchemy, you're thinking about, you can think about metallurgy, which is like taking a base metal like lead into gold, and that's all metaphorical, you all. Like that's not true alchemy. But if you think about, like making a plant essence or a tincture or any other type of alchemical process, like what you're doing is you're stripping down and then rearranging to bring out the plant's purest essence. So that's kind of what's going on with you during the dark night of the soul process. There's specific stage where you have what's called the negredo. It's the blackness, and it's like you have to deal with all that dark stuff within you. So first, all right, it's 7 stages in alchemy, and y'all should research this if you're not familiar. But you have calcification, um, dissolution, and then there's a few more stages after that. But what you do essentially is at first you just destroy the prima materia, the first substance, and you just break it completely down, and then you dissolve it in a solvent. And you make a solution out of it. And then that's like that dark stage. So we go through that on a spiritual sense. Like we have to be completely broken down. Um, and destroyed to a degree to figure out like what are like what we're made of, like the substance. Hey, April can relate to this on a chemistry level. Like the to see what we're made of, like the essence, the foundation of who you are. It's like you're broken all the way down, and then that's kind of like the calcification. Then the dissolution, where you dissolve the prima materia in a solvent. That's kind of like going through the emotions, the emotional grief. So that's like the tears. You're dissolving all of your frustrations, the destruction, all of that stuff in tears and the overflow, the pouring out of emotions. And you go through a dark period. And then after that, there's kind of like this period where there's a waiting period, and then there's a period where things start to come back. So that's kind of like the seasons and what we're going through now. Like that would be the spring period. The winter, the fall and the winter is like the calcification, the dissolution, all that stuff. It's like you have all this light. It falls away, it's stripped down. Then it kind of goes through this waiting period. That's like the winter. And then eventually the signs of life start to show. And the substance comes back. And it's like the death, destruction, and rebirth. So you can relate it to the alchemical process. If you're not familiar, go ahead and read up on that, you all. Because it's soul alchemy, and that's what a lot of these spiritual things that we endeavor in, like tarot and other things, they're all about that alchemical process. So when you're experiencing the dark night of the soul, don't get over frustrated. Just see it as a part of the bigger picture. Um, it's a necessary creative destruction, just like the tower in tarot. You have to clear the way to make space for the new. We need wrecking balls, you all. Like that's a part of construction companies. They use wrecking balls, which is destruction. So before you can construct, you must destruct, you must destroy. So yeah, I mean, and it's a cycle. We do it every year, right, Nicole? So like you have your dark periods, and it's like you learn some of the most stuff. Hey, Sabrina, welcome. We're so glad you could join us. We're talking about Dark Night of the Soul, and Sabrina can relate too. Wow, so timely that you're here. But that destruction process is, oh, we're so glad to have you. We've missed you, Sabrina. Um, that destruction process is just all a part of it. So allow it to happen, allow it to transform you. Don't get too caught up in the trivialities of that because it's all a part of the bigger picture. And that saying is always the darkest before the dawn, y'all. There's some truth to that. Like, to experience the light, you got to go through the dark. And if you want some really nice light, like you want to get to the really good stuff, you got to experience some dark stuff. And it's all good. So I hope that encourages you all because, y'all, we've all been going through it to a degree. Right, April? We're made of the stuff from the universe, stars. And that's true on so many different levels, April, not just a physical level, but like spiritual and all these other things. Like we contain the universe within us. Um, so yeah, it's like we have these situations that test our mettle, but the more you can give up the resistance to them, the more you can go through that process and come out on the other side and then just really enjoy the goodness that there is. If you're Christian, you can relate to Jesus. He was born, died, and then was resurrected. He had to go through that. That's alchemical right there. He had to go through the torture, being nailed on a cross, and then dying and being buried and descending into hell. They don't talk about that a whole lot. Right, April. That's it, you all. Short and sweet today because I'm kind of busy and I know it's Friday, so y'all probably have lots of. We just talked last night, so we're all on the same page. Right, April. Jesus was an alchemist. Like that whole process is alchemical. Yes, turning water into wine. Absolutely. But he was an allegory for alchemy too. And like when we talk about Christ consciousness, which is what we're all going into, that's the level of what we'll be doing. Also, the crystalline, Christ, the Christos, crystalline, crystal consciousness. That's how crystals are formed as well. They're formed in the belly of the earth and then they come out being very pure essences of earth, silicon and silicates. They're very close to, we're carbon-based beings, but crystals are silicate-based beings, and it's like the next level. It's very similar to carbon, but the next level. So that's what we're moving towards, you all. Anyway, just some words and some food for thought. Y'all have a wonderful weekend. I can't wait to talk to you all some more. Um, yeah, and it will be April soon. It'll be April's birthday in April, so happy early birthday to April. And I'll see you next week. Bye.